You're listening to the Life of Lozo podcast.
We are live here at Life of Lozo.
He is the funniest, smartest, sexiest guy I know.
Lozo is now live.
Yo, on this podcast, I recap my time at the Chicago Open Air Festival. I share some memorable moments, meet some real rock stars, and podcast in a party store and on a plane. Thank you to our sponsors, State 2 Studios, Taylor Shop Inc., 03 Productions, The Beat Brigade, Ryan Designs Clothing, Ronz World Guitars, The Music Experience, Custom Shirts and more, and Jack Sports Nutrition. Let's go.
Yo, this X to the Z exhibit, and you're listening to the Life of Lozo podcast. Turn it up, bitch.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? On this week's episode, we talk about and recap Chicago Open Air. I had a great opportunity to fly up to Chicago this last weekend and be a part of the Chicago Open Air Rock Festival. You know, I've got some friends that do a pretty cool thing. I talked about this in the kind of Welcome to Rockville episode. Very similar type of deal where I was podcasting with the Music Experience podcast presented by Shure. This time around, I got a chance to go up there and not just get some information from a podcast standpoint, but really have a chance to help support some friends, do some cool work, and put some practices and strategies into actual motion. So, something that happened at the end of Rockville when I was talking to some of the guys that were there, I said, if there's another festival that I would be able to make it to, that would be cool to be a part of, it would definitely be Chicago. Just a really, really cool lineup. I haven't been to Chicago in a really long time. Haven't been from Detroit and been there a few times, but not in a long time. And, a lot of the work that I've been doing around just some social media stuff and, website development, SEO, and really wanting to kind of put some of my thoughts, strategies, and ideas into actual action. It sounded like a really good idea, and I talked to Squiggy and some of the guys, and it was something that they were working through themselves, and we're looking to try to, drive social media engagement and reach, and some of the things that are now becoming the current currency of the world when it comes to getting people to, either become sponsors of a show or to make a living doing social media influencer work. So just some things that I've been doing, things that I've been learning about, and really thought it would be kind of cool to put that into action at an event like Chicago Open Air Festival. I've also been working a lot with and talking a lot about, Kyle Willis, some of the art that we've been doing for the Life of Lozo podcast, for Golden Decade of Hip Hop, and for other types of things. And also discuss with the guys just kind of an idea around bringing art and artwork to the music experience, and really allowing people to kind of see a different platform or a different format of creativity related to music. So, got a chance to kind of beta test a couple of those ideas as well. And then also just spend some time with the team, helping them with their, documentation of the stories that happen. The really, really cool, interesting thing about the music experience is that it was really kind of birthed out of an idea of how do you inspire people to want to play instruments, and specifically kids. How do you get them to want to play instruments? How do you kind of help inspire the future rock stars? But also, how do you let kids know that there's a lot of different careers and aspects to the music business, and it doesn't require you to be the person on stage performing. There's people that are techs that help, the rock stars on stage. There's managers, there's PR people, there's people that design album covers, there's radio personalities, there's just a whole ecosystem of people that are involved around the music industry and around these artists. And a big part of the music experience is talking to these kids and helping them understand that if music is a passion of yours, something that you really love to do, there's multiple ways that you can make that a career, and to be open to all of them. Enjoy playing instruments, have a dream, want to be a rock star, but also think about the other things that you're passionate about and maybe how you could find some of those jobs within the music industry. And so, we were talking through that, and I really had a perspective of wanting to document more of those stories, these things that happen when you've got a mixture of kids and families and fans of a lot of these artists in a place where they can come in and feel comfortable and want to play instruments and talk to vendors from different companies and learn more about these instruments and more about ways that they can learn how to play these instruments, but then also like watching people engage with some of their superheroes, these rock stars, and get to meet them and take pictures with them, get autographs with them, and the impact that that can have. I think if you ask anybody out there, the time they met their favorite band or they saw their favorite band or they ran across a celebrity and they even got to spend just a couple seconds with them, thanking them for their music or their art or whatever their creative element was that may have either inspired them to do something or helped them through a situation in their life or whatever that is. I really wanted to focus on documenting a lot of those stories and those things that happen at the music experience, because I've been told and I've had those stories shared with me, but I've also witnessed that many times those things don't actually make it onto a video camera, or they're not shared over social media when the capability is right there in front of them. So that was also some parts of what I wanted to influence while I was there. So it was a late night flight on a Wednesday night that got a little bit delayed because of some weather across the country. I ended up getting into Chicago really, really late. I was super excited. And, the next day on Thursday, kind of got in and got a chance to talk to the team, see what was going on, spend some time, preparing for the weekend, helping out with some displays, talking through some strategy, creating some content for some of the televisions and some of the vehicles they have around telling the story of the experience and informing people on what's going on. So spent a lot of the day Thursday just working through a lot of that type of stuff, and then also talking about strategy for the festival as people show up on Friday and things that we want to do to be able to create a better reach and better engagement on social media. How we wanted to position and talk about the artwork that was now in the tent and some of the other elements that that Squiggy had in there around Lisa Johnson, a photographer, and some of the prints that she had that he had access to. Scott Yoshida had a couple of framed, photographs of celebrities and rock stars that he had taken pictures of. So just spent a lot of time working through those displays and making it something that people could enjoy and walk in and kind of see something and be inspired by it, or just check it out because it's something kind of cool and different. And then we all enjoyed dinner together as a team that night after final setup was all done, and then we took off and got the day going Friday morning, and it was a full-on day. It was a lot of excitement. It was a lot of fun, and there were some great stories. So, as I was there throughout the weekend, I had my portable recorders with me. I had my Mac with me, and I was recapping the days and getting some content while I was there. So, without further ado, here is the recap for day one of Chicago Open Air. Life of Lozo.
Yo. So, day one of Chicago Open Air was absolutely crazy today for just so many reasons. One of the, as you can tell in my voice probably, I spent a lot of time on the mic today having some fun, talking with the crowd and bringing people into the music experience and, promoting a lot of the artist signings and just the things that we offer there. But just the feedback has been tremendous, and what a great time, and what great fans of the festival coming through and really showing love and support. We started the day off with just kind of getting in, making sure everything was set up, doing some live Facebook and some set up Facebook video posts with Cameron Nunez, who travels with the team and captures all of the video content at all the events. Got to see Cameron kind of just do what he does, which is just amazing work, and get around and follow people and get some so cool footage, and just the way he sees it is just fantastic, and it just comes out so awesome when he's done. But really trying to open up and give people access to see kind of behind the scenes what's going on, the work and the effort that's put into making this thing come to life across the country, and then just kind of getting the team together and talking through the strategy for the day and making sure that everybody was on the same page and that we were really talking about the experience literally, but also the experience for both everybody coming in and enjoying the time, the artists, the fans, but also the people that are working with the team, making sure that everybody's good, everybody's got water and snacks and breaks and stuff like that. Of course, none of that happened really in regards to, I don't think anybody ate anything until probably 3:30 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, just because it was absolute madness. We had some artist signings going on, with Dave Mustaine from I can't even think right now, from Megadeth. We had somebody from Anthrax, Frank from Anthrax. We had John 5 from Rob Zombie come by. We had, I guess the crazy part was, we were expecting to have Mustaine there at 3:30, and then we caught wind at about noon that we were going to have Mustaine at 12:30 as well. So, of course, we were bringing people up and talking to people about the event, and then Dave came out and signed autographs, met with some fans. That put us a little bit behind schedule, knowing that we already had other people going on, and so it was just madness. And these are major artists, that fans really want to talk to, get to meet, take pictures with, things like that. But we pulled it all together. We had a great time. Ron from Ronz World Guitars was there, and just showing people these Dean guitars are absolutely crazy. And really the cool part was, a lot of these artists, have been doing it for a really long time, and do autograph signings and kind of do the rounds of the things they're supposed to do, but to observe it, to see it, and to be involved in it and see what happens at the experience, the amount of these artists that would, step aside, John 5 after doing autographs for us and signing everything and talking to people and giving people hugs at the table. He was telling people, hey, step over here, can we really get a picture? He goes, you know what, I'll come take a selfie with you. And he probably had 8 or 10 people that were just like, I saw their eyes light up and they were shaking as they were walking up to meet him and get an autograph, and they were asking for a picture, and he said, I'll come take a selfie with you. And I was like, man, either that's the biggest curve I've ever seen on just getting people through a line, or he's that real of a dude. And I'll be damned if he did not just let them come over there and meet every fan and hug people and sign stuff, but then he got off the table after the last fan was there. He walked behind where we exit the artists from, and literally just turned right through and came in through one of the back ways and just walked right back up to the front of the experience tent, right through the crowd, And he went over there with all of the people that he said, I'm going to come and take a selfie with you. And he went there for 10 minutes and took selfies with every single person that was there that he told he would. And that to me was just amazing, just to see that type of commitment to his fans. And clearly, that's why we saw the draw that we saw, and people were just so excited to meet him. Extremely genuine. And then he came back over to the Fender section, and for those that are fans of John 5, he's a huge Fender fan, a historian of the brand. He really is committed to them, and has a signature guitar with Fender. And that was something that Squiggy and the team really brought me up to speed on. And so after a little bit of discussion, deliberation, and talking to the Fender reps and some of this art that we collaborated with Kyle Willis, art@kylewillis.com, and notjustapen.net and nerdities.com, we decided how cool would this be to talk to him about this and maybe give him one of the pieces of art. And so we made that happen in the Fender booth, and we gave him probably the most coveted piece of art that we have in the entire experience, which was a mixed media piece by Kyle Willis, one of a kind, watercolor painting of Leo on top of a canvas of Fender pages and history of Fender stuff and patents and Leo's business card. It's just an amazing piece of art that if you look through, You can see that on the Music Experience Facebook page and other social media elements. And literally, it stopped people. Before we were set up in the tent and everything going for the festival, on Thursday we're setting things up and we were pulling the artwork out after it had been packaged and traveled up here from Florida. And, we had people immediately saying, well, what is this? and how much is it? And we were having some conversations, but we said, like this art was brought here for a reason. We really want people to see it. We want people that not just will say, wow, what a beautiful piece of art, but people who will really feel, what this art is and get a chance to see it up close and see the level of detail and see the level of quality and see everything that's kind of in it. There's just a story in every piece, and we wanted to make sure that people got a chance to see that. So we told them, we said, we don't know exactly yet. We have some ideas of what we want to do with this art. Fender came by, started taking pictures of it, started getting the detailed pictures to their corporate office, and really wanted to have some conversation about what we could do to figure this out in regards to Fender having some of these pieces as well, hanging in their corporate office. But we decided that it would be really cool to give John 5 a piece just because of the guy that he is, his love for Fender, and everything he's done for the experience. So we were able to do that, capture that on video. He was beside himself, and I think his reaction will really speak to the world when somebody who has that much passion and love for a brand gets a gift like that unexpectedly, and this guy, he's a rock star, man. He gets pretty much whatever he wants. So it was really, really cool to see that and to have him, immediately tell Squiggy, like, I'm hanging this in my living room. Like he left his signing with the piece of art. Like, it wasn't a, hey, we can ship it for you, whatever you want. He's like, I'm taking this with me right now, and I'm gonna hang this in my living room. So that was super, super, super cool. Completely, like, even now, just being as tired as I am, it gives me energy to see something like that and kind of a plan come together, and to see somebody so into something that they do to then be able to be so excited for somebody else like Kyle, who has a love for what he does. It was just amazing, and I wanted to make sure that I sat down and recorded this in my echoey hotel room before going to bed, just because it was that impactful for me to see that happen. And then just throughout the rest of the day, we had a chance when Mustaine came back again for his for an interview at 3, or for his autographs at 3:30. There was a father, son, and a wife there, and the son has been playing guitar for a while. Little rock star looking kid. You'll see him as well on Music Experience Facebook page. We got a chance to get some really good content with him. They saw the guitar. His dad is a huge Mustaine fan from when he was a kid and listened to them his whole life, and had some T-shirts and never wanted to. He said this to me, and I think, I don't remember if I think he said it on camera on the interview, but just never wanted to push what he liked or what he listened to onto his son. Really wanted him to discover music for himself. And the fact that, his son got into the same kind of music, was playing guitar, they just saw Megadeth a few weeks ago at a different festival, and they came to Chicago for one day to come see them again here. And, he tells his story and everything better than I do on the Facebook Live post that we did. But, the fact that they were here as a family, they saw the guitars, they were considering it, they were thinking about it. His son was just like, man, that's just the most awesome guitar I've ever seen in my life. And it was one of the Dave Mustaine models. They were unsure, and then we were talking to them about it. And I said, hey, like, look, the one thing I know about Mustaine is from my understanding, he'll sign guitars, but he wants to sign his guitars. So if you guys are thinking about this today and getting this, I will do everything in my power to cash in my favors to get this signed for your son Tanner. And the dad said, man, if that's even a possibility, like we're just thinking about buying this regardless. But if you seriously think that Dave would actually sign this guitar, then of course, right? And of course, it's like there's a little bit of faith there, there's a little bit of not sure, and we just got to make it happen type of thing. So sure enough, we had the guitar on hold. Mustaine came back, signed a bunch of autographs for a lot of people. I was able to get the guitar up on the stage with Dave there for a while, and then Josh, the rep from Dean Guitars was there, and he and I were talking earlier, and he was really appreciative of some of the work that we were doing. And he said, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. He's like, he knows I have the podcast. He knows I've got, other things going on. And he says, whatever you need from me, just let me know. I got you. I got one good solid favor for you. If you need it, just let me know, whatever it is. And, I had Tanner there with his mom and his dad, and had this guitar, and I went up to Josh and I said, I got my favor, dude. He's like, yeah, what do you need? I was like, can Dave sign this guitar for this kid, man? That's all I need. And he goes, I'll make it happen. And so Mustaine went through all the autograph sessions. The guitar was up there. We saw the last couple of people. I saw Josh up on the stage. I kind of turned the guitar over and slid it to him. And, as the last person's walking up, to sign their autograph, I hear him whispering into Mustaine's ear. And next thing I know, I see Tanner and his dad and his mom kind of right there at the front. And I just, I pulled Tanner. I said, come on over here, man. I brought him around from the back of the line and pulled him right up to the front where we were signing autographs. And, Mustaine's security guard was there. And I'm like, look, here at the Experience, man, we're all about the kids. We're all about, inspiring these kids to be rock stars and doing something cool for them. And I was like, that's his guitar, man. His dad bought him that guitar. The kid just wants an autograph, and we're making that happen. And the security guard goes, absolutely. And so when that last person walked out, he got him right up there with Mustaine, and it was awesome. He signed it. He talked to Tanner. He actually came down around the table, took some photos with Tanner from his family to take photos, for Cameron to take some photos and video. The kid was just beside himself in his Dave Mustaine t-shirt. His dad was beside himself. His mom was crying 3 feet behind them. Like, it was just a really beautiful moment to see this family have a chance to engage like that and see their kid meet a superstar, and it was just awesome. So they waited up front for a while. Mustaine went back, did some other really cool stuff. Unexpectedly went and saw all of Ron's guitars that Ron had hand painted for Dean on Dave Mustaine models. He checked out every guitar. He talked about what he loved about each one of them, and then he just wanted to sign them. And he literally pulled out a marker and he signed every one of Ron's guitars that we're raffling off this weekend. These are $10 raffle tickets, and Ron does these guitars every festival and gives away 6 of them. Real guitars for real people, and it was so dope to see an artist like that at that level be activated and inspired by the creative work of Ron and his guitars and seeing them. And so all of a sudden these guitars went from $10 raffle tickets for a really cool hand-painted Dean guitar to $10 raffle tickets for a really cool hand-painted Dean guitar signed by Dave Mustaine. And so of course that was super, super awesome. And then after all that was done, we brought Tanner and his family to the back, and Squiggy and I did the Facebook Live post, which was just amazing. So again, just a very, very cool day one, a long, long day with the team. The team did fantastic. Everybody kind of got to go and see Kiss perform. And I've never seen Kiss perform. It was awesome. I mean, they were, they're in full-on gear, dudes in super high platforms and paint, and they were having a good time, and the stadium was packed, and it was just cool to kind of see. And so we are ready to rumble for day 2, and we will keep it going, man. So Life Lozo, see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Yo, so the day 1 recap, included a lot of information and some cool stuff and some great stories. And the day 2 recap is up next. I can share with you that there was a lot of shenanigans and craziness happened during day 2. But most importantly, the team as a whole was extremely excited about Body Count and Ice-T come to the Experience tent. And this was a first for the team, and something that everybody just was really looking forward to. So I'm going to go ahead and let you hear the day 2 recap and a little bit of a spoiler alert, hashtag Horchata 2017. We had a little bit of an incident in the van on the way down to day 2. So after the day 2 recap here, I will give you some additional content behind the scenes of exactly what happened and those involved. All right, peace.
All right. me get right to it. Day 2 wrap up, Chicago Open Air. Crazy day today. I know we had a lot of stuff posted on social media, but a great day. Team did fantastic. Had a lot of fun doing some contests, some giveaways. Super stoked. We had Body Count come by the tent with the entire group, Ice-T included, and did an awesome signing for all the fans. Got to hang out, take some pictures, chill, and special guest Exhibit was hanging out as well, and I kind of came along with them, and I got to go out back and talk some hip hop with Mr. Exhibit. So I got the audio on another recorder. I'm gonna go through it and hopefully use it, post it up, and or recap it. But it was pretty dope, man. I just started talking to him about his top 5 MC list. The influences of the guys that he grew up listening to and his style on the West Coast, and then also just kind of the current state of hip-hop and what's going on with it. Fantastic conversation. It was super cool. Everybody got to take pics with Ice-T. He was awesome, man. He came through and literally signed, I don't know, we probably had 20, 30 guitars out and a bunch of different miscellaneous things for the artist, and he came by and signed every single thing, including signing some of Kyle's artwork. He actually signed all the posters, all the original artwork that we used to make the posters for the other autograph signings, which was super dope. And got a chance to sell one of those today to a guy who collects rock and roll art, and was super stoked to get an original art of Kyle Willis piece, and actually checked him out and we got his information. Wanted to make sure he knew who Kyle was and where the art came from, and had a really cool conversation with him. Then we had a signing with Head from Korn. It was kind of crazy because it was delayed. It was a little bit running late, and he had to get to the stage to perform as the headliner tonight. And so we had to make it happen. We had 200 something people in line that we had there that we promised we'd get an autograph, so we had to rush through it. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun. We had everybody getting it done, and it was totally awesome. And today will always go down in infamy as the Horchata incident in 2017. I've got a lot of audio about it, did some interviews. We'll piece that together right after I kind of wrap up the recap on the day, so you can hear what happened. I got to witness the whole thing, but had to make sure that that there was no injuries, nobody was trying to claim workers' comp, and talk to all parties involved. So you guys can definitely check that out as well. And then got to spend some time just talking to Ricky, and Jose Mangan was there. That was pretty cool. Just talking rock and roll, talking music, talking the history of music. It was pretty dope, man. It was a really, really cool day. It was a blast hanging out with the team, getting work done, and yeah, man, looking forward to tomorrow. It'll be a long, long day tomorrow. We'll get to sleep in a little bit, get down to the event about 9:30, 10 o'clock or so, but then after the event is done and all the signings are done, we got to break everything down and pack the semi up and get that thing on the road. So we will be doing more social media tomorrow, a lot more posts, a lot more engagement and cool stuff that we'll capture. And then I will do, I'm sure, a recap tomorrow morning, and then also recap at the end of the day. Life of Lozo, y'all. Peace.
And now for the aftermath and behind-the-scenes interview of the Horchata Gate 2017, we bring to you the Party Store Podcast.
Life of Lozo podcast. We are Party Store podcasting. Mikey Sierra here, bro, hanging out. So talk to me about the Horchata incident of this morning.
I don't know what happened.
I know you don't want to admit it, but we saw what happened. I think you were raging and doing a little bit of like pit work in the back of the van, and Kyle, unfortunately, his Horchata became the death of that.
That wasn't me.
Just the proof is on your pants, bro.
No, man, it was on my pants.
Yeah, we had an unfortunate horchata accident this morning. Dancing in the minivan, and Kyle had some horchata, and it got exploded all over his shirt and Mikey in the back of the van. So
I blame Ice T.
we blame Ice T. But Kyle, all right.
You live in Florida?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It does look like Florida. The horchata state looks like the state of Florida. Can you take a picture of this and tag Florida? Yeah, we were asking Mikey about the horchata incident this morning for the podcast, and we're trying to get your 2 cents on this. Who do you blame?
Mikey, hands down.
Mikey's blaming Ice-T.
Come on. I'm going to go ahead and blame old man Mikey moshing in the back seat.
Okay, that's what I thought. We're just making sure. We're podcast, Party Store Podcast.
Back on.
What do you think?
Podcast, baby. Way
That's
too
right.
early for the podcast.
What are we drinking today?
Oh, that's a little hazelnut coffee with a little vanilla bean, all vegan.
Straight gangster. If you just squeeze the back of his shorts, get some more shots in your coffee. Good morning. How you doing there? Good morning. Yeah, you can do that for sure. Jocko, what's going on, man? What's for breakfast today?
Horchata.
Everybody, it's raining horchata in the van on the way to day 2 of Chicago Open Air.
You can see the Starbucks double shot espresso Cubano.
The
in a
Cubano
can.
edition. That's what I'm
That's
talking
it
about.
right
Hey,
there.
don't drink it around Mikey. You will wear it because that's what's going down. Sarah, music experience, Party Store Podcast. What are we picking up today?
We need coffee. A lot of coffee.
You need coffee. Well, I see you got some Snickers bars too. some
Snickers
juices.
bars,
All right.
sugar.
A lot of sugar and juices.
Sugar
Okay.
and coffee. Coffee and sugar.
Very cool. All right, Cameron, Party Store Podcast. What do we got this morning?
I got a donut. I got doubled up on Red Bulls. Probably shouldn't drink two more of these because that's 4 in the last like 12 hours.
That's a lot. Were you injured at all in the horchata incident this morning in the van?
I was crying.
Okay, but no injuries?
No injuries.
Music experience does not cover workers' comp, so it does not matter if you were injured, but just be careful with your horchata out there. So far, no injuries to the horchata incident, no workers' comp claims. We're good to go. Legally, everything is fine. So, Life of Lozo, Party Store Podcast. We are making it work. Day 2, Chicago Open Air. We are ready to rumble. The squad is good. We are getting snacks, drinks, and sugary items so that we don't have to pay a lot of money for them at the festival. Can't wait. Talk to you guys later. Peace.
Yo, all right. So day number 3. You know, I think the big story of day number 3 was about a kid named Vince. And what happened was on day number 2, Saturday night, there was, the raffle going on for these hand-painted guitars from Ron that were signed by Dave Mustaine. And we had a kid come by Saturday, kind of later afternoon, early evening, and wanted to buy a raffle ticket over by the tent there. And he came over and spoke with Kate, who at the time was kind of overseeing the raffle, and wanted to purchase a ticket. So he got a ticket, and then he kind of walked away and left, and then kind of came back short time afterward and was kind of just hanging around where all the raffle guitars are and kind of at the front of the experience tent. And Kate kind of saw that he was there and didn't really recognize him, but just noticed his behavior was kind of weird, and he was hanging out and kind of just, not engaging anybody, but just kind of around. And then so after a little while, she was kind of keeping an eye on him. He came over to her and said, "Hey, I bought a raffle ticket earlier, and basically you didn't take my money. I guess she got distracted. Something else came up, and she gave him the ticket without taking his money." So she thanked him, and he took out his $10, and he gave her the $10. And Kate said, "You know what? Thank you for your honesty and for coming back and telling me about that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and give you another ticket, and just for saying, for basically you being honest and coming back here." And so Vince was happy with that, and he took a second ticket, and he left. So fast forward later on in the evening, around 9 o'clock or so, we're doing the drawing for this, hand-painted Dean guitar by Ron, signed by Mustaine. And we have a good collection of people there. We go on Facebook Live, and we do the drawing. We take somebody out of the audience, and they draw the tickets. And guess what ticket got picked? The one for Vince. The one that Kate gave Vince specifically was a ticket that got picked as to be the winner. And at first, Kate didn't kind of put this together, and she saw the name, and she goes, "Man, I this might be the kid from earlier that came back." And there's a phone number on the ticket. They're calling the phone number. The phone number's not working. Kate starts to think more and more about it. She goes, "I really think this is the kid that came back and paid me for the ticket I gave another ticket to." So she didn't give up. She went on Facebook, Googled his name, or Facebook searched his name, and sure enough, this name showed up about 15 miles from the venue, and she pulled up some pictures, and it was this kid Vince. So of course, then she was like, "This is unbelievable," and then she shared the story of what had happened previous in the night. She really hadn't told anybody about it. Just kind of did the right thing, and it is what it was. But now this kid had won this guitar, so she contacted him over Facebook. Of course, Vince was extremely excited, couldn't believe that he won this guitar. Came back to the festival on Sunday to pick it up. We made a big deal about it. Ron talked to him, Kate talked to him, Squiggy talked to him. They did kind of a video with him. I brought him out and introduced Vince to the whole crowd of people that were in line for a signing and told them his story, and people were really excited, giving him high fives. And they ended up taking Vince on stage and did kind of what they call the ultimate selfie, which is going up on stage and for a bunch of people waiting for a performance and taking a selfie while they're up there. And it was just a really, really great story, and just a reminder of kind of, I think sometimes how the universe, goes full circle. And when you do good, you do the right thing, it comes back tenfold. And one of the things that Vincent told Kate about it was, he goes, my mom always told me to always do the right thing and be honest. And that's what actually drove him back to come back. And that's why he was kind of hanging around, and he wanted to do the right thing, and he did the right thing. And it's amazing how that kind of thing paid off. So just a really cool story. There was some other really fun things that happened on Sunday, and we had some fun with the crowds again, and we actually auctioned off some of the art that Ice-T and Body Count had signed by Kyle Willis, and that was a lot of fun as well. But really, I think just Vince takes the cake on it, and really, really reminded us about what this was all about, and good people doing the right things. And that was really awesome. And I was so exhausted by the end of Sunday night, because we were there till I was there till about 1:30 in the morning, helping the crew break down everything and get it all done, and having to go back to the hotel and take an Uber because I had to get up early in the morning and take a flight back to Florida. And the rest of the team was there till about, I believe, 5:30 in the morning. Went back to the hotel, got a little bit of rest, went back to the venue. Got the rest of all the gear packed up, and they started their drive down to Florida. But another really interesting thing happened on Monday. I got to Atlanta on time, went from one plane to another, which tends to happen a lot in the Atlanta airport. And when I got to the gate for the second flight, there was a little bit of a delay because there was some weather. It wasn't really bad in Atlanta. It wasn't really bad in Jacksonville, but it was bad in between, and they were delaying us a little bit to give us a chance to kind of get through it. And we probably were about, 20 minutes late on that plane leaving Atlanta. And the flight was relatively uneventful. I didn't really, I slept through most of it, but I don't remember it being too shaky or anything at all. And they kind of had us, I remember that they had announced before we left that due to the weather that they were just going to go ahead and have the flight attendants kind of stay seated and not have anybody walking around the plane, just because of the possibility of getting through a storm. But anyway, we do the flight. It's a pretty easy flight. We land in Jacksonville, and then after we land, the captain comes on and says, hey, there's been some lightning in the area, so there's currently no ground crew out here to actually bring us into the gate. So, it might be about 15 minutes, but, we'll give you an update. So it's about 15, 20 minutes, and then he comes back on again, and he goes, okay, so, here's how this works. If there's a lightning strike within a 5-mile radius of the airport, they start a 15-minute clock. And there's a lightning strike, 15 minutes starts, and it keeps going. And if after the end of the 15 minutes there's not been another lightning strike, they have people come out to the grounds and they bring the planes in. But as we're sitting in there, now that we have this information, we see another flash of light, and everybody goes, oh man, another 15-minute start over, right? And then it happens again. All right, another 15-minute start over. So after about, 40 minutes or so, I'm like, this might be a while, because we pull our phones out, we're on the ground so we can use our phones and the internet and everything. And I'm looking at the storm clouds on dark sky, and I'm seeing that we're right in the middle of it, and it's moving really slow, and it's a pretty bad storm. So I'm just like, we're probably going to be on here for a while. So I decided to grab my recently acquired Shure microphone for iOS, one of the Motive collections, to plug it into my iPhone. And I said, hey, you know what? Since we're going to be here for a while, I'm going to go ahead and podcast. So I introduced myself to the people that sit next to me again after I had said hi to them initially, and let them know, hey, I do a podcast. I talk to people, I interview people. And since we're going to be on this plane for a while, I'd love to do a podcast with you. And they were both game for it. So that's what we did for a little while, until finally we got the word that we could get off the plane. So at the end of this podcast, I'd like to present to you Podcast on a Plane, with two very, very cool, very nice people, Janice from Memphis and George from Penny Farms, and they were sitting next to me on the plane, and we had a great conversation. There was one point where I had gotten a phone call, so it cut off for a second, but I got back onto the podcast again and got it recorded again. So there's a little bit of an edit in the middle of all this, but I figured it was kind of fun. It was a good time, and figured I'd throw it on the show here. So we're going to wrap up this episode of The Life of Lozo with Podcast on a Plane, featuring Janice from Memphis and George from Penny Farms. Let's go. All right, yo, Life of Lozo podcast. We are live here in a Delta plane, trying to get home from Jacksonville. And we are in a major delay. I guess every time lightning strikes within 5 miles, we have to wait 15 minutes. So we've been in here already for about a half an hour. And so now we're going to hang out and just talk to some people on the plane. So that's what we do here. We're going to plane podcast for this episode. So what's your name?
My name's Janice.
Janice, and where are you from, Janice?
From right outside Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee. Okay, home of Justin Timberlake and blues music, right?
That's right.
Very cool.
Right.
And sir, your name?
My name is George, and I'm from Penny Farms, Florida.
Okay.
We don't grow anything there except old people.
Well, that's okay. It sounds like we're getting an update now. We'll see what he says here.
So once the heavy rain showers have moved on and the lightning has stopped, we'll attempt to go into the gate.
All right, so we're saying about 20 minutes now, which is perfect because we can do a whole show here. So this is awesome. So yeah. So are you both currently living in Jacksonville, or where are you headed to?
I'm heading to my mom. I'm just visiting my mother. She lives here, having a little surgery.
Nice.
Come down to take care of her.
Very cool. So how long are you in town for?
Just about 4 days.
Okay. When was the last time you were here in Jacksonville?
I was here for Mother's Day.
Oh, nice. Okay, very cool. Very cool. Do you have any favorite?
When the golf tournament.
Oh, for TPC, for Sawgrass.
We went to a practice round. We didn't go to
the big shebang. Yeah. Yeah, the players. It's fun. It's a great tournament. I have a guy that we spoke with at Rockville, a good friend of mine, Chris Condon. He's a PGA tour photographer.
Oh, nice.
So he does a lot of that for the PGA, and loves to take pictures at the course and everything like that. So it's a beautiful course. Yeah. So do you have any favorite restaurants or hot spots in Jacksonville, or?
Let me think. Oh, I like Clark's Fish Camp. And then a place called Gubio's.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of in the Mandarin area.
Okay.
And let me think. Oh, and there's an Irish pub out on the beach.
Yeah. Culhane's?
I think so.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it.
It's like Culhanes.
Yes,
Yeah, it's in the strip mall.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Those are three of my favorites.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then Clark's Fish Camp has all the taxidermy, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it gets flooded every time the river floods.
Okay. That's right.
Yeah.
I remember reading about that.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And sir, any favorite spots in Jacksonville that you enjoy? Any restaurants or any entertainment places?
Not really. I stay pretty well out in Clay County.
Okay, Clay County.
don't come in for shopping or anything, any of the malls or anything?
No.
Smart guy. Smart guy, all right? Very smart.
Penny Farms Retirement Center is a continuing care center, and that is to say, we have independent living, assisted living, total nursing, Alzheimer's, rehabilitation, just about anything out there as we get older. And we live in apartments and cottages, and we live in homes and duplexes, and
nice.
Just ideal for somebody that's facing the latter years of your life.
Sure, but just enjoying it and having a good time.
Oh,
and
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of, it's the Villages, right? Is that outside of Ocala? Is like in Florida? Is it?
Penny Farms is...
Well, no, but it's a similar concept though, right? Is it kind of like the Villages in that aspect, or is it different?
Well, that's more of a retirement center. This is a continuing care.
Ah, gotcha.
Center.
Okay.
Once we go in, you're guaranteed continual care for the rest of your life.
Okay.
Including hospice care for when you go out.
Nice. Okay.
On the final round.
Right, the final round.
They get you coming and going.
No, I read an article about a year ago that there was a woman who retired onto cruise ships. That she was traveling the world, and that from a cost standpoint, it actually cost her less to continue to take 6-month cruises, and they had everything available.
Right. I've seen people that do that if they enjoy that. But,
Yeah.
I have been on cruises where people did that.
Yeah.
And I suppose to each his own.
Yeah.
Would not be my cup of tea.
Right, me neither.
The
Yeah.
thing about Penny Farms is it was founded by J.C. Penney.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
91 years ago, he founded this area.
Wow.
And then he actually built a church there in memory of his parents. His father was a minister.
Is that right?
And that's the reason he did that. Originally, it was for only retired ministers and retired employees of the J.C. Penney Company.
Wow.
But then over the years, it's evolved to where anybody can live there. Although we have 60 retired ministers.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's a very strong Christian community.
Yeah.
Okay?
Very cool. That's great.
And the sinners like me,
Right. Yeah, no, it's been. I got my wife and I got married at Club Continental, which is here in Jacksonville, right? And I think it was Paul Molive. I think it was the family started. I think it was Paul Molive Soap Company that they built that there, and it's a great historic venue and beautiful right there on the water and the river. There's a lot of history. A lot of history
quite a
here.
lovely place.
Yeah.
There's a lot of histories around Jacksonville, very honestly.
Yep.
Of course, St. Augustine, the oldest city in the United States.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's right. So Fountain of Youth, does it exist? Yes or no?
I'm sorry?
Fountain of Youth. Do you believe in it?
No, not really.
They haven't bottled it up and sold it at the gas station?
I'm telling her, 20% of the people who live where I live are 90 and over.
Wow.
Including one person's 107.
Yep. No, the cookies have arrived. Yeah, yeah. See, we got cookies.
That's what happens
Yeah.
when you got a big
The cookies have arrived. Yes.
Cookies have arrived.
You're good. Awesome. No. Is this like Halloween? How many can I take? Can I just take one or two? Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It worked.
That's right. That's right.
Call it dinner.
Absolutely, right? Yeah.
Stave off the hunger pains.
Yeah, for a little while, right?
Might still be on this. In all the years that I've flown, and that's considerable, I've never had this occur.
Yeah.
But we settle on the tarpon like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of a thunderstorm or.
For lightning, I've never seen that either. I've arrived in many cities where it's been pouring and raining, but I've never actually heard of this rule before. So.
Obviously, I'm 82. I've flown probably since I was 7, and every place in the world, and the only time it's ever happened to me.
Wow. And did you fly around for personal reasons, military, business? That's what I get. I'm recording the podcast and didn't put my phone in airplane mode, so people are calling me now. So, all right.
Oh.
So for business, so what did you do for that many years?
I sell bakery packaging.
Bakery packaging. Really?
The boxes and bags that bakery foods go into.
Really?
He still does.
Really? Still do that?
Done it for 55 years.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay. Very cool. And
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah. And is that because now that I'm thinking about it, is that a special type of thing, or like when it comes to keeping things warm? But
protection and yes, you're right. It's protective packaging, and of course it has to be FDA approved because of being around food. Food packaging has to be FDA approved. So the inks and the materials have to be, sanitary.
Yep. Okay. And then does that also include like the wax paper, like when I buy donuts?
Yes, that's right. Wax paper bags.
Okay, so I have a question now, because every time I get like the Long Johns with the chocolate on them, and they're warm, it sticks to the wax paper. So is there anything? Nothing that can be done.
Well, you can tint the wax paper. You could put something in it, but keep the paper off of it. You could tint it, but that's the only thing.
That's about it. So I'm just okay.
Your best bet is to get your donuts in a box.
Right. Box them that way.
That
Okay.
keeps it off.
Okay. Or wait for them long enough where they're not still gooey and hot, right? Right.
Well, even then, in this high humidity, you'd have to put so much paraffin in the icing in order to keep it hard. It wouldn't be very digestible then.
Oh, we're getting the science of donuts now. Okay, now I got more questions. Now I have to know. So, when I was in college, we used to have what we called the pizza drawer, where we would just put pizza in a drawer, literally, no refrigerator, anything. And the rule was about 7 days. We just made that rule up. So I'm still here today, so I guess it was okay, right?
Very cool.
Right. But when it comes to donuts, how long are they good for? I know they get hard after a while.
Well, yeah, they would, but even then they're okay. A cake donut, because of the high sugar content in it, will last, maybe 3 times longer than a glazed donut.
Okay, and how long would that be? 3 times longer?
Well, a cake donut, you could probably reasonably keep it about 4 days.
4 days. Oh, okay. All right.
Although a good donut is any donut that's fresh.
Absolutely.
Really, if it isn't fresh, it's not very good.
Okay. So now
cookies, their shelf life is a week.
Yeah.
A fresh cookie can
about a week there.
Because of the high sugar content in it.
So now I need you to choose for me. So my wife and I, she's from California. We go out there. She calls them pink box donuts from the real donut stores, right? But you got pink box, which are the locally made ones. Then you've got Krispy Kreme. You got Dunkin' Donuts. So what's your order of best to worst?
I would go to a Dunkin' Donut.
Dunkin' Donuts, really?
I really would.
Yeah, interesting. Why is that?
Well, it's freshly made.
Yeah.
It's a better donut.
Yeah.
I think Krispy Kreme makes the worst.
It's just a bunch of sugar, right?
Yeah. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But a good donut is one that's fresh.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Even a Krispy Kreme can taste good.
Well, sure. I mean, all that sugar, it just showers in sugar.
It's like any bakery food or like music or art. If you like it, it's good.
I like
it. If you don't like it, it's no good.
As long as you're buying boxes from you, I could care less, all right? I got them for everybody.
I don't sell too many boxes anymore. The freight on, the freight on them is so big that it's unbelievable.
Really?
So you almost have to buy boxes locally. They have them manufactured locally and delivered locally.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
The freight on them is horrible.
Yeah.
Plastic has been the biggest innovation to packaging of bakery foods.
Really?
Your plastic domes, the clamshell.
The clamshells like at Publix and things like that.
Before that, it was always boxes and bags.
Yeah.
Right. And I've been there when we had the plain paper bags. And then we went to a wax bag that was paraffin coated. That's what a wax bag is.
Okay.
It's a paraffin coated bag is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember those. I think I grew up in Michigan. There's a place called Dom's Bakery, and they always had the bags with the logo on them. But it felt like a different kind of bag.
That's the type of work I used to do. I used to imprint those bags. I'd sell them to the baker. They imprinted it, with their names on it and their designs.
Yeah.
Etc.
Very cool.
What part of Michigan are you from?
I was born in Livonia, and I lived in Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti for a while, and then I actually graduated in the UP in Houghton High School. And then I went to college in Western Michigan. So I've been all over the state. Yeah. How about you?
Well, my family, they lived up in South Bend for quite a while, but I'm a flight attendant. Flying all across. Traverse City's a hot spot in the summer.
Yes,
I like going
yes.
there.
Yeah.
Cherry capital of the Midwest.
Cherry Festival, yeah. We just we drove up probably about a month and a half ago and stayed in Sheboygan by Mackinac Island.
Yeah.
And I got 2 little girls now, so we took them up there, and everybody that's still in Michigan, the family came up and hung out with us, and it was just great. It was nice being back home and just kind of small town Midwestern America.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
This is the time of year I like to be up there. I don't care for it in the winter.
Yeah, exactly. No, you and me both. That's what I said. Once I was able to get out, I said, I'm never living back in snow again. Get me out of here. And I went to California, Georgia, Florida.
German influence years ago.
Yes, absolutely.
And I used to travel to Sheboygan.
Sheboygan, yeah.
Manitowoc, Sheboygan, Algoma.
Yeah. All those spots up
Had
there.
a bakery, I called on it.
That's fantastic.
If there was a bakery, you knew about it.
You were in it, right?
That's about it.
Now, you've got something interesting here.
I know.
It's what we call a flip phone.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Let's tell the kids what these things are here.
I know. I still pay $12 a month
Right.
for my cell phone bill.
Genius, right?
I know it.
It's a phone. Use it as a phone, right? Here I am.
If I want to play games,
Right,
I get out a game. If I want to take pictures, I get out my camera.
I love it. That's great. That's fantastic.
$12 a month?
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
For a phone?
Yeah. I just want, like, usually it's a 2-year contract with these phones. So seeing that phone, they got to owe you like 10 phones by now, right? Your upgrade when you walk in. Yeah. Like a lottery winner. They see that thing come in, they're like, you can have any phone you want.
Well, what kind is it? I mean,
It's a Samsung. But I use AT&T as my service.
well, that's what I was wondering. AT&T is your carrier.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's amazing.
It's just that when I signed up for my service, it was probably 18 years ago.
Right.
I didn't have a Verizon, but it keeps going up.
Right. Yeah, the prices.
Well, of course, they're in their better phone now.
Absolutely.
When the
Yep.
smartphone makes a difference.
Yeah. Now you're a flight attendant, so which airline?
Delta Connection,
Oh.
the smaller planes. that
Okay,
Delta
okay.
flies.
Very cool. Okay. That's awesome. So have you ever had this happen to you?
I have, but
Ah.
not for this long.
No, yeah.
Yeah, not for this long.
So it's very rare then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I'm still talking. I'll eat my promise. I promise. I'm hosting the show.
They're so small that they take a pack of gum up and down the aisle, you know. Give them-
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
My sister's asking me, are there any
I've
screaming
been on
babies
flights
on
Right.
the plane?
Exactly. Say I'm busy. I'm on a podcast. You can just listen to me on iTunes, okay?
I saw the
Probably
flight-
it's gonna be Friday's episode.
When the pilot did, he
Yeah.
took out a pack of gum and
Yeah.
passed it around.
That's what we're gonna use, right?
There was only 4 of us in the aircraft, you know.
Yeah. Just gonna, whatever you can do, right? That's fantastic. That's awesome.
It was funny.
It was like it's you see those videos on YouTube where like it's the cast of like the Lion King from Disney on a plane.
yeah.
They break out into song.
that'd be fun.
Yeah, right.
Well, believe this or not, one time I was with Paladin. What the heck was the guy's name that played Paladin? On TV.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I played cards with him on an aircraft one time.
Go away.
Out of Cleveland.
Yeah.
We were playing cards. He had the most
That
beautiful...
had to be a long time ago when
Oh,
they
he had
when they
gorgeous
passed
hair.
when they passed
Yeah.
out decks of cards.
He had
Decks of
gorgeous
cards,
hair,
right?
but
Yeah.
Was he?
You could probably still smoke on a plane then, right?
He was one
Light
of
up a
the
cigar.
ugliest people you ever saw, but his hair was just gorgeous. I forget his given name, but Paladin was his Have Gun Will Travel.
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
a TV series. And
Wow.
strangest one. I'll tell you. You
Oh.
live a bump into anybody on an aircraft.
Oh
Yeah. You never know. Yeah, absolutely.
You just never know.
Never know sometimes.
Well, that's the way life is.
Yeah.
It makes it exciting.
Makes it fun. Yeah. We had a kid at the festival. We work with I work with the guys from the Music Experience, and they do these experience tents at all these big festivals, and they have these hand painted guitars that they raffle off, and they're really nice guitars, and they're hand painted by an artist named Ronz World Guitars, and this one he was doing was from a company called Dean. And Dave Mustaine is a major Dean guy who plays for Megadeth, these heavy metal bands, and he signed these guitars. And so they're really, really great, extremely valuable guitars. I mean, people wanted to offer this kid thousands of dollars for his guitar. And the kid came in on Saturday, and bought a raffle ticket. And in the midst of buying the raffle ticket, the woman Kate who was helping him didn't take his money. She got sidetracked with something else, and he walked away. And he came back, about an hour later, and he was kind of just like hanging around where the guitars were. And she was watching him. He was kind of like over here, like kind of hanging out but not doing anything. She didn't know what he was up to. And he came up and he said, "Hey, earlier I bought a raffle ticket, but you didn't take my money, and I wanted to give you the $10 for the raffle ticket." Right? This young kid. So she very nice young man. And she said, "Well, thank you for being so honest, and because you were so honest, I'm gonna give you another raffle ticket." So she gave him a raffle ticket, right? So fast forward 3 hours later, we're doing the drawing in front of all these people on Facebook Live. Guess who wins the guitar?
That kid.
Vince.
Oh,
Vince wins the guitar with the ticket that she gave him for being honest, right?
That's wonderful.
So then the phone number he gave us, we couldn't get a hold of him. It wasn't working. So we had to track him down on Facebook. And he lived about 15 miles from the venue at Toyota at the fairgrounds there, the grounds there. And we finally get a hold of him. He comes by Sunday, and we give him his guitar. We get him up on stage at this festival. 40,000 people there. Let him get a picture and everything. Just a great kid. And he said, my mom always told me to be honest. So, yep, people are outside. All right.
If you would please return to your seats, fasten seatbelts. Flight attendants are prepared to cabin.
I've eaten my cookie, but I feel better.
Once everybody's seated, notified by our flight attendants.
All right. Well, I guess we're getting off. So once again, thank you guys for being on the show. I appreciate it. Absolutely, it's great to meet you and great stories. Thank you so much. Yep. We will.
We'll do it again soon.
We'll do it again soon, right? At a plane near you, plane podcasting.
The Life of Lozo podcast is brought to you by Stay Tuned Studios, The Taylor Shop Inc., 03 Productions, The Beat Brigade, Rhyme Designs Clothing, Ronz World Guitars, The Music Experience, Custom Shirts and more, and Jack's Nutrition. Please check us out, share the episode, like us, and review us, and do all kinds of fun stuff. We appreciate you. Until next week, y'all, this is Lozo. I'm out. Peace.